Hey Ratbags, it's Jade today going over more latest news and info about update 1.4.7 coming to Grounded very soon for everyone, but currently live only on beta on Xbox Insider Hub and PC beta. You can go and look up how to get access to the Xbox Insider Hub, but effectively look that up on the Xbox Store and it'll pop up with an application and you can test certain games early if they've got betas like Grounded. I've done a mixture of shorts, live streams and news about some of the stuff that's coming, and today we're going to focus on Playgrounds and why I think this update is huge for Playgrounds and may be able to help Grounded be playable forever. When Playgrounds launched, it was good. It definitely was the start of something. Had a whole bunch of customized options that we could do so players could create stuff. Like I created the only down map. Yes, I know, it's me, Jammy Jade, number 3 most downloaded Playgrounds map going. There have been some great creations, but there were some problems with it when it first launched. It was missing lots of functionality that people kind of wanted, and it didn't even have a proper search bar where you could actually look up stuff in a list. You had to just know the code. So all of that got improved over time. They got a like system to it as well, which has helped weed out just basically rubbish playgrounds. And at the time I said this would help with replayability, because if you really love Grounded, although you might prefer the story, and that's okay, there's still some players that just love the world, love the bugs, love the characters, and so why not play some Playgrounds that are, you know, parkour challenges like My Only Down, or maybe really intense little extra RPGs or battle arenas. There were so many things that people were starting to create. But it did kind of launch at a really rough time, like after Grounded had gone 1.0. So the hype for it maybe wasn't there as much. Effectively having one of the best creative modes as well, because you could test out so many of the weapons and gear and stuff in a much better way. So I know I've just waffled along, but I really want to get that through to people, because the latest changes make this possibility of playing basically Grounded forever even more. The big one is that you can create a playground, but it'll have all the story quest content in it. And this is huge. This means that you can play Grounded as normal, go through the story, but players can now add content to the story. Previously you had the backyard, so you had all the locations, but you wasn't able to go and get access to some of the laboratories unless you use some sort of cheats and stuff, or the actual gnat to go invisible through the walls and then maybe place like a teleporter. But effectively, the quest wouldn't work, the boss summons wouldn't work, you'd have to spawn them in manually using some of the gadgets and gizmos. It was just a pain in the arse to try and add more story to the content that was already there. But genuinely now, you will be able to add side content to the quest story. You can have it that you go and visit Burgle, go and hand in the chips, and then there'll be a button that maybe gets activated. This can then open up whole new areas in the map that you might have designed or created, like maybe going into the shed and recreating the lost content that was once there. Players could flesh out what's happened with the 5th teenager and make a whole new tunnel and maybe explore area where we encounter loads of spiders trying to get some loot before ultimately dying. With the ability of the quests, we can create side content or content to be played once you've completed the main quest that feels like it generally actually fits within the Grounded story. Now we're not Obsidian of course, I don't think we'll ever be able to really create or recreate something like that is really true to what they want the game to be, but we've all seen mods in the past, and that's another big thing that people have always complained about, that yeah, Grounded should have modding. Listen, Grounded's played by PC. At the moment, the player base is probably only about 15 to 20% of the player base play PC. The vast majority of players have always played on Xbox, and now they play on PlayStation and Switch. So yes, modding would be great for certain PC things, absolutely. But if console players can't play it, why is we going to waste their time? Like, that's the bottom line from Obsidian, I'm pretty sure. And it was pretty hard to do for some reason. Whatever the reason was, even though it was an Unreal Engine game, which is generally easy to get modding gone, this was the next best thing, having Playgrounds mode. So I am really excited for this update. It does give the potential to go and explore more playgrounds and for me make more content, because it'd be interesting to see what people can come up with. It still might just be maybe having 2 maybe Broodmother bosses to fight instead of just 1, making the game tougher. Or people might want to refine the experience of story mode and buff how much raw science you can get. Maybe add their own remixes to the yard and just add more creatures to the place, or go really complex and build complete mini DLCs attached to the yard but still with a story. And some of the biggest changes that are coming within this update that will help with that are things like being able to now edit the size of live bugs, not just stuffed ones as you've been seeing in the background, but also change the values of damage from them bugs, the movement speed, as well as adjust stuff to do with weapons. Players can create special variants of weapons now. They can call them different names, they can give them max durability or make them only one-time use. They can make them unbreakable. They can add different tiers to them, so they'll be able to go ahead and utilise certain things like chopping certain roots or breaking rocks that have to be broken for tier 2 item or tier 3. They can also enhance them as well by giving them effectively different types of damage boosts and damage buffs. Not to mention increasing level to level 15 in terms of just their pure upgrade level. You can add like things like mighty, spicy, sour, all the stuff that you can normally do with your own general weapons, but maybe having a super weapon now. We can recreate proper sword in the stone weapons that will actually be worth it rather than just the rotten larvae blade, and make them do 5 times the damage. So players won't even have to go crazy with the grounded content that's in the game at the moment. They could just say, hey, this is the story version of Grounded, but with better weapons. And people could sprinkle big rewards for doing parkour or exploring new areas. So when you put that together with the ability to go ahead and adjust creatures' size, adjust how much damage they do and what levels they are and stuff, I think this update is going to be great. I know maybe not for Playground players and not for Remix Yard players, it might not seem that way. But honestly, if you're one of them that complains that you're one and done with Grounded and that you wanted more story content, this is the next best thing. But some people just won't give some of the Playgrounds a try, and that's kind of weird to me. Like maybe in the early days when maybe some of them needed a lot more work, but there are some great actual creations out there. They get highlighted every month by Obsidian, they pick out at least 2. And with this latest update, if there seems to be more interest in Grounded, I'd totally be down for now going back and checking out some. I did show a few off. I showed off like a Mario Kart racetrack at one point. I've shown off some great RPGs like the Legends of the 5 Jewels, as well as different arenas that people had built. But now, honestly, this gets me excited about maybe potentially making my own special playground now, where I add actual DLC or side content to the main story. Of course, it is a shame we can't directly change or adjust or add our own special quests. Obviously, we can only do so by signs and creating rewards with buttons and unlocks and stuff. But to actually have some quests that we could design, or even some paper notes that we could place down and actually have it like that way. Like this is the ultimate Minecraft build your own adventure or adventure maps. I used to love Minecraft adventure maps. I used to watch Yogscast play them a lot. That's what really got me into thinking about starting to do YouTube and stuff, because I thought, this is quite fun playing these kinds of things. You always got a fresh experience. So yeah, this was ideally what I was looking for in a game, to have ultimate kind of endless replayability, as long as of course the community were building it. It is a shame we can't directly change or customise certain parts of the story, like making a massive broodmother as part of the regular story. But we can still go ahead and spawn one of these guys to appear pretty much as soon as maybe we've summoned something. And the fact that now you can summon the creatures in Playground story modes just by going through the game like you normally would using a recipe, that's great. Although you can't actually summon them while you're designing it. The devs did reach out to me after I tried testing this out and said it would cause too many problems in the actual design mode. But if you are just playing some map that someone's called story and you go and play the game like regular, taking on the bosses, you'll now be able to go and do so. So there will be ways that people will be able to come up with to give players more extra rewards and stuff. They've also added the ability that you can change what remix level you're at. So if you want to make the game easier or harder, you can do. I've done a video already showcasing you can go and get all the weapons really super easy and then put the actual remix level back down to like 0 or 1. So you won't have infused bugs running around. But imagine now an adventure map that changes that difficulty on the fly for you, or you get directed to do so to get the ultimate experience. That could be pretty cool too. So yes, I think this update is amazing. I think it definitely delivers on a lot of stuff that maybe we hadn't even thought about, and certainly some stuff that we had wanted. As always, it's a shame it took nearly a year to get this kind of stuff added to their Fully Yoked update. But better late than never, and at least now brand new Grounded fans will always have this complete experience, and hopefully older players will be returning to it. So let me know what kind of ideas you're having for maybe Playgrounds. Are you going to work on some new side content? Are you still going to just make completely your own playgrounds without the story stuff? I'd be really keen to check out people's creations in the future. So yeah, absolutely come back to this video and pop your codes in down below with a brief description of what your map is going to be all about. Until next time, and more news about this update, as well as other showcases of stuff that's going on in it, I'll see you at Bags later.